doing. He's going to be a wonderful breath of fresh air for this community, for this school and football program, and it's just great to have you here, Coach. Come on up. Sam Harp, head coach of the Blue Devils. And like I said, I know you're a hat guy, so there you go. People on the electric chair that aren't just wired up. There you go. Okay.
Well, I want to thank you for the nice welcome that you've given me and my wife. Before I go any further and forget, I want to introduce my wife to everybody, Karen. She's the main coach. Honestly, she's my strength. There's many nights that I come home after a ball game where we might not have played very well and all, and she looks at me and she says, "Well, you just got to suck it up." And but she's been my backbone, my strength for the last 37 years, and wouldn't be where I'm at right now without her. And that's honest truth. I want to thank Darren Brown. You know, this is such a beautiful facility, and I can honestly say I've not been in a high school building that's as beautiful as this one is. The facilities here, the athletic facilities, all of it, it all marries in, and it's one beautiful piece. I interviewed at other schools, honestly, in the Nashville area before I came here, and I didn't get that warm feeling, honestly. When I came here and I started talking with Darren, I got the warm feeling of what it's like to be a Blue Devil, what it's like to come to be in this area, why he came back after he'd been here once. And it was because of Darren, honestly, that sold me on what being a Blue Devil is about, why he loves this school the way he does. Because in the bottom, at the end of the day, it's all about people. I could go coach on a cow pasture and be fine as long as the people are right, as long as the people wants it the same way that you want it. And I could tell by his demeanor and the more we talked, and it kind of evolved over the course of about 3 weeks that we talked on and off. And each time I talked to him, I learned a little bit more about him and where he was coming from, as well as learning about this town and this school. And honestly, that's what got me excited and interested in coming here. I knew this is where I wanted to be after I talked to him. After I went home and talked to my wife about it. Honestly, we were looking to get close to the area because I have a daughter who lives in Hendersonville. My granddaughters are there, grandsons are there, and I wanted to be part of the family. At the same time, I wanted to get involved in a program, a good football program, where people were hungry for it. Because I'm looking at this as not being a 1 year, 2 year, 3 year thing. I'm looking at this as being a second career. Otherwise, I wouldn't come. I wouldn't do that to you or anyone else. When I stand in front of these young men and I talk to them about the importance of what it's like, what I'm interpreting as what it's going to be like as being a Blue Devil, I want them to feel confident that I'm going to be there the next year and the next year. Now, obviously, there's going to come a point in time in my life where it's time to get out of it for good. But I don't see that for a long time coming. I can't visualize waking up in the morning and wondering what I'm going to do for the day. I've always been one to get up, hit the ground running, and get after it. I still feel that way. It's still in my bones. That's the way I coach. That's the way I attack life. There's two kinds of people in life. There's negative people, there's positive people. Both of them are going to lead. If you got negative people on the football team, there's people that are going to follow that. So we can't have that. We got to get rid of that. If we got positive guys on the team that are working their tails off and doing what they need to do, then that's the group that we need people to follow. It may take a while to put some of that together, but putting my philosophy out there to these guys and what we're going to do, but we're going to get there. I want to have a team here that nobody wants to play. If we have a team where people want to play us, then we're not doing too good. I want a team that nobody wants to play. And to do that, you got to hit the ground running every day. What we have to do here, and I don't know what's going on here in the past, I don't care. What I care about is what we do today, tomorrow, and the next day after that, and so on down the line. I'm going to push these guys where they've never been pushed before. I can promise you that. But I don't want them to fear that in me. I want them to welcome that in me. It's not about fear. It's about wanting to do the best that you can do every day that you step out there, whether it be in the classroom, in the weight room, running up and down that track, the field, at practice, in spring, 2-a-days, summertime, when it's 100 degrees. What are you going to be like then? And that's what what I'm looking forward to finding out about the young men that we have here. We got to get young men that's in this school building. I know there's guys walking in this school building and they're not playing ball and need to come out and play. I got to find them. I got to look them up. I got to go talk to them one-on-one. I got to go to their house and talk to them. I got to find out what makes them tick. Why are they not playing? Are we going to get everybody? No. But I guarantee you we're going to make the attempt to get everybody out here that we can. And when I accepted the job and went to the field house when Darren got all the players together, you know, we had around 35 or so guys that came back. Christmas break had already happened. They didn't have to come back up here. They didn't have a phone tree, but they called some guys and they started calling each other. Well, we had over 35 or around 35 guys that showed up here. And I gave them a message. And it's going to be the same message that they're going to hear day in, day out, until I drive it home that I don't need to say it anymore. But there's 3 points of emphasis I placed on that. One, you got to be here. I have no patience for the ones that don't show up and are not here. Day in, day out. Weightlifting, running, spring practice, regular practice, you name it. If we're in OTAs, then I expect them to be here. That's official team activities, what I term that. That's the number one rule. Anybody can have an excuse as to why they shouldn't be there. I want the guys that want to be there day in, day out. Number two, you got to come in with a great attitude. If you got a poor attitude, you got problems, you got to check them at the door. Everybody has problems. I do, players do. They may have broken up with a girlfriend earlier that day, or she may have broke up with him. Either way, don't matter. Check it at the door when you come in. We're going to get to work. The third thing, give great effort. Give great effort. That's from me to the assistant coaches, to our athletes, to the managers, everybody. They got to give great effort. A football program and a team is a community. I can sense that you're hungry for what I hope to take place. If you weren't, you wouldn't be here. We got to get that over to each and every young man that we have on the squad. They got to give great effort. Now, you can do all three of those things, and you don't have to be talented. You don't have to be the strongest person on the team, the fastest person on the team, the smartest person on the team, but you can do those three things. And if we got enough guys pulling in the same direction doing those three things, we're going to be a winner. How long that's going to take place, I don't know. But I will promise you this. We're going to teach them to win every day. We're going to teach them to win in their classroom. We got to teach them that when they're in that classroom, the only thing that's important at that time is what's going on in that classroom. They got to get the job done there. I'm a firm believer in that. If they don't get the job done there, I don't know what the grade rules are or anything here, or even the Tennessee High School Athletic Association. I've got to learn that. But I do know one thing. If you can't sit in that classroom and say, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, yes, sir, no, sir, and do right in that classroom, you're not going to get the opportunity to do right out there on the field, because it bleeds from one to the other. It's the same thing in the community. I expect our kids to do right in the community. I expect them to do right all the way. You're going to get 100% out of me. I want 100% from you. Do we make mistakes? Yes, we all do. I make them every day. But I don't make it the same mistake twice. We're going to have a good football team here. It's going to take a while. You know, success is temporary. You always got to keep pushing, because there's always somebody trying to knock you off. Failure can also be temporary, or you can wallow in it forever. The message I'm going to bring here tonight is I'm going to give you everything I've got toward this program. And I expect the young men that are involved in this program to do the same. There's pride in this community. I can sense that when there's guys that played ball here in the 40s and 50s that introduced themselves to me here tonight. If there wasn't pride, they wouldn't be here. Why else would you be here to talk to an old high school coach? You're here because you got a lot of pride in the program. I've got a lot of pride in how I approach things. I'm going to give you my all. I expect the players to do the same thing. I guess that's my message tonight. I don't want to continue on this horse, because I could go all night long with it, to tell you the truth. I've got butterflies standing up here right now. I can't wait to get started. The only thing that I regret in this process is leaving my wife back in Danville for the next 8 months until she can get down here with me. But beyond that, I'm fired up and ready to go. I start my first day here the 14th, and I'm looking forward to it. Questions?
A couple quick questions. A couple of quick questions, if I could. Talk about how football can set the tone for the whole school year, getting things off on the right foot.
Well, number one, you know, we get started with things in the summertime and drive on in. Every time that we've had a successful football program, it seems the spirit seems to ride over from the football field into the classrooms, into the community, and it just provides for a great atmosphere for everybody. Everybody loves a winner. Everybody wants to be around that winner. And when you're having success in your football program, it just bleeds into the school, and the community gets excited. The places that I've been and had the opportunity to witness that everywhere I've gone. So I think when the year doesn't start off too well in football, it doesn't seem to start off well in the school building either. So, and then the community wants to know what's going on. You know, why aren't you winning? Why aren't you doing this? Why can't you do that anymore? So I think if we get this thing started off right, hopefully it'll bleed over into the school building, and people get excited about it, as well as not only coming to football games, but also with what we do inside the school building.
One more quick question. You spent 25 years at Danville. You were an athletic director in addition to being a head football coach. You come from a situation where sharing athletes was part of the everyday. Talk about, if you will, your philosophy on sharing athletes.
Well, I'm a big believer in young men go through high school once in a lifetime. They're there for 4 years, and what they seem to think is an eternity sometimes, those 4 years go fast. I played 4 sports in high school. My sons played 4 sports in high school. I had a son that went on and played for the University of Kentucky football. He also had scholarship offers from Kentucky in baseball and from other schools in baseball. He chose to go the football route. You never know where you're going to be at the end. You know, maybe you're talented enough to go on and play at that next level. Hopefully we'll have a bunch of guys here that are. But the crux of it is, I want these young men to compete every day. If they're playing basketball, they're competing. If they're playing baseball, they're competing. They're running track, they're competing. If they're not involved in another sport, then I expect them to be in that weight room a whole lot more than they would, obviously, if they're playing another sport. So I think playing other sports makes them better all-around athletes because they're competing daily. So that's why I believe in it.
Thank you, Coach. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
I'll get you out there, Joe.
Thank you.
We have got a cake over here, Coach. If you and your wife would go over there, and we want you to take a look at it. We're going to cut it. We've got a lot of cake. That thing's kind of heavy, so it's take a look at it. Kids in school had a T-shirt made up to kind of intimidate the opposition. It says, "Welcome to L." And that's what it says on that cake. So welcome to Lebanon. And let me, while you're here, Sid Cripps, where are you? Sid Cripps right there, ladies and gentlemen. We lost a Blue Devil football player last summer. Jalen Davis passed away unexpectedly, and some of us in the community are putting some funds together to try to get a stone for his burial plot. And if you would be good enough to visit with Sid tonight before you leave, any donations you make will go directly to get that done to help remember Jalen Davis, a kid that was a football, basketball player here at Lebanon High, and just an outstanding young man. We're going to cut the cake. Come by, get you a piece of cake. Enjoy the basketball game starting at 6:30. Thank you for your attendance. If you would, we got trash cans over here in the corners on both ends. Help us clean it up. Hey, we are Big Blue. Thank you for being here.